بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم
وصلى اللهم على آل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين المظلومين المنتجبين. قال الله الحكيم في القرآن الكريم: بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. يا أيها الذين آمنوا أطيعوا الله وأطيعوا الرسول وأولي الأمر منكم. صلوات. One of those things that we fear the most is death. When we talk about death, it's usually in the morbid or the idea that when we look at death, we're talking about divine judgment. When we talk about death, we talk about the idea that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created mankind for a purpose, and that He is going to fulfill His purpose on the Day of Judgment, whereby He will be judged, tested, and those who are successful in the test will go to heaven, those who are not will go to hell. One of the main criticisms when it comes to living spiritually in this world, or living in an infinitely succinct life in this world, is a criticism that comes by the philosopher by the name of Bertrand Russell. Bertrand Russell, in his book, Why Am I Not a Christian? I believe that's what the title is. He says, look, one of the main flaws, according to him, in the teachings of Jesus Christ is that Jesus believes in eternal damnation. How is it possible that an all-merciful God would send millions and millions, forget millions, even just one person, to eternal damnation? When we look at this idea, it looks pretty convincing, to be honest with you. If God is merciful, then He will never punish those, even if they did wrong or didn't abide by the law, He will never punish them because it's mercy.
But He has justice too.
But He has justice as well. See, that's the issue. He has justice as well. When we talk about justice, one of the imams was asked, what is better, generosity or justice? He says, look, generosity takes something out of its place, while justice puts it back in its place. Justice is that thing that we cannot deny. When we talk about divine judgment, more specifically the test, the final test, we find that there are different views expressed. For example, in the philosopher that I've been quoting more and more within these past lectures, Mullah Sadra, he talks about divine judgment as there being that, he talks about divine judgment in such a way that it's a physical resurrection, yes, but it's not this physical body that gains resurrection. The inner body of our souls gets the physical form, and that body gets resurrected. So if I am an animal, a dog, a swine, in my soul, my heart, I get resurrected as a dog or a swine in my soul or heart. If somebody is higher than human potential, then they get resurrected as the divine lights that we call Ahlul Bayt. Recite salawat, please. He says, look, on the day of Mahshar, on the day of judgment, everybody will be risen according to their inner states. And they will all be a part of the divine assembly. All of a sudden, there will be these 14 luminous figures that come up and take precedence over this divine assembly. Who are these figures? Who are these figures? I quoted the verse of Ati'u Allah wa Ati'u Rasul wa ulil amri minkum. There's another verse in the Quran that says that we have to follow those after the Prophet who, while they are in the ruku', they give alms. Agha Puya, in his tafsir, when he talks about this verse, he says, look, When this verse was revealed, one of the companions went to the Prophet of Islam and he mentioned this event that happened during the lifetime of the Prophet, and the verse of the Quran was revealed. And within this discussion, he was asked, who are the 5 holy figures you're talking about, Ya Rasulullah? And Ya Rasulullah gives them a very strong answer, a very powerful answer. He says, look, there are these 5. Had it not been for these 5, Allah would have not created this whole world. All these universes would not have been created. He quotes Allah saying, I am Mahmud, this is Muhammad. I am A'la, this is Ali. I am Fatir al-Samawati wal-Ard, this is Fatima. I am Ihsan, this is Hassan. I am Muhsin, this is Hussein. These 5 holy personalities are such that their joining point comes in the form of a woman. When we look at the hadith of Kisa, first of all, when we look at the idea of judgments, we have to notice that the A'imma Ahl al-Bayt have solved this idea of judgment throughout their whole life. Every Imam has dealt with the idea of this final judgment and have talked about it. Imam Hussein, on the day of Ashura, he deals with this idea of judgment. He talks to the enemies and he says, look, isn't Ja'far Tayyar my uncle? Isn't Hamza Sayyid al-Shuhada my uncle? He's telling them literally that you are on the wrong path, I am on the right path. When he goes and tells Ali al-Akbar to give adhan, what is that? Ali al-Akbar is that replica of the Prophet where Imam al-Hussein says that if we had wanted to do ziyarah of the Holy Prophet, we would look at Ali al-Akbar. What a great symbol it is for Imam al-Hussein to send somebody who looks exactly like Rasulullah, has the voice of Rasulullah, to give adhan and warn the enemies that you are on the wrong path. The right path is with Hussein. The right path is with Hussein. One of the Imams, in a tradition, it's either of the Prophet or one of the Imams, they mention this idea of death and resurrection, and the discussion is more specifically with regards to the people themselves. So, in the tradition, it says, some of the people, they perform a'mal for the monetary aspects of it. They want to get hasanat, they want to get thawab. He says this is the prayer of a money maker. Someone who thinks nothing about anything except for this physical world. Then he says, look, there is the prayer of that person who is afraid of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He prays because he is afraid of God. This is the worship of a slave. The real worship is the worship of a free man. The one who knows Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and worships him because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the sole thing that deserves being worshipped. One of the criticisms, however, this relates directly to the idea of akhirah that we get as Shia and the Ahl al-Bayt, is that the idea of shifa'ah of al-Muhammad. The idea of shifa'ah of al-Muhammad is said by some to be polytheism, because we look at others besides Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for shifa'ah. But you know what? And people might, when they talk about this idea, they quote verses of the Quran, saying that there are specific verses of the Quran that say that there will be no shafa'ah on the Day of Judgment, period.